transfer is still very much open as contracts are being signed, deals are being sealed. I don't know how busy your team are in the window transfer market, but I can tell you your team, the clubs you support, needs to be busy in the transfer market. They need to equip themselves ahead of next season in the transfer market. Now, just take a look at the just promoted teams in the English Premier League, teams like Sunderland and Leeds United. If you see how massive these teams are, massive recruitment they have made so far in the bid to beef up their team ahead of next season, your team should also join suit in standard. It's no longer in standard funny. It's no longer going to be funny in standard as usual in the English Premier League because when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to standard, the cost of the English Premier League, the cost of the games, there will be a lot of injuries, illness, and the rest of them. So teams needs to beef up and stand themselves ahead of the next season because if you want to start with some of your best players, remember you need to get some best players also at the bench who can come when it matters for their team. So your team needs to beef up. They need to equip themselves ahead of next season. Now, there's some massive signings that big clubs in the English Premier League have made so far. The likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Manchester United. I think these teams have made massive signings so far. So Arsenal themselves, I think they made a massive signing in the name of Victor Gyökeres. Of course, they signed Victor Gyökeres from Sporting CP. Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, Christian Nogal from Brentford City. All these players also joined Arsenal. Then Mosquera also signed from Valencia, the big centre back from Valencia. I think this a massive recruitment made by Mikel Arteta. So they are also pushing for a Berichese. Let's see if the deal will be materialized. But I can tell you, a Berichese will still join Arsenal as the case may be. Now, Liverpool on their own, I think they made a massive signing. They signed Jeremy Frimpong from Bayern Leverkusen. Of course, they also signed Florian Wirtz from Bayern Leverkusen on the British record. They also signed Milos Kekes from Bournemouth. Then they now also sign up Hugo Ekitike from Bundesliga also. So Liverpool on their own, they are ready. They are good to go in the English Premier League. Then Manchester United also, they made some massive recruitment, even though I think they still need to sign a striker in this coming season because the strikers I'm seeing at their disposal, they need another striker. They signed Matthews Conway from Wolves, also signed Brian Bomo from Brentford City too. So Man U on their own made some massive recruitment. I think they still need to go to the transfer market to get some players there. Then Manchester City also, of course, Pep Guardiola himself. His son will not be left alone when it comes to recruitment. So he signed Tijani Reinders from AC Milan, also signed Ryan Cherki then he's also signed James Trafford from Burnley goalkeeper who was also their former player. They sold him to Burnley. Then inserted the buyback clause, the deal. Now they triggered the buyback clause, got back they signed back the player from Burnley. So I think the defender will be the goalkeeper, or rather will be competing with their first choice goalkeeper Ederson. So I think Manchester City on their own, they made a massive signing, but I don't think Tottenham Hotspur make some signings or massive signings or progress in their transfer market, even though the transfer is still very much open. So you see these leagues, these teams, or rather line up. I think they are ready to compete against each other in this coming season. And other teams in the English Premier League will not be left alone. I'm telling you, you see this team that just got relegated, got promoted, or rather from the Championship down to the English Premier League. You have to make sure that these teams, now you watch your back when you are playing against these teams because they made massive signing. Sunderland themselves, I think Sunderland, the team I can specifically point at because this team made massive recruitment. You see the young boys they signed. This not only young boys, boys who are ready eager to make their debut, to make their name known in the English Premier League. Of course, Granit Xhaka just joined them from Bayern Leverkusen. I can tell you with his wealth of experience, like I said in my previous videos, if you watch Granit Xhaka his pattern of game, I think he is a leader, and when he comes to your team he will bring that leadership mentality to the team. So I think he's a cool one for some.